Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. So this is taken from the set revival, and oh my god, what's going on here? What is with these borders? We have 5 diamond players, 2 emerald players, and a masters player. I saw this on the loading screen and I was like, wait, what? What's going on in this game? Anyway, it looks like the competition's going to be, at least people have a lot of borders, to say the least. Well, anyway, we are going to be looking at a cultist game here, something that I've been trying to get footage on in a couple of these set revival games, and we're going to be going for the mystical Cultist 11 here. Yeah, this was added in the set revival. This was not in the original set, and it requires getting all of the cultist units plus multiple cultist emblems. But if you can hit it, it's kind of like one of those auto win the lobby conditions, or very close to an auto win the lobby condition. Now, what makes this possible? Well, the reason is we have one of those really, really dumb encounters where at the start of the game, we have the triple golem encounter. It's the Ambessa encounter on the live client, or on the main set. And then in the set revival, I think it's set is the one, but it's exactly the same thing. Is you get a golem at the start of the game, and it has 3 emblems on it. And what made me want to go for a cultist game here is the emblems that I have here. Well, I was trying to play a cultist game to begin with because I thought it would be fun. It's not something I have footage on. But look at the 3 emblems I have. First of all, I have a cultist emblem. And like without the cultist emblem, I wouldn't be looking to play cultist because that would just be silly. I also have a keeper emblem, and then I also have a vanguard emblem. And this is super nice because all of this is stuff that will play into the keeper. It will play into the cultist trait. Cultist is one of the big vertical traits here in, well, back in set 4. I'm saying here in set 4, but back in set 4. And it has 8 different units in it. And it is the trait that summons an additional unit on the board when you play it. By the way, I could have taken the Elise here, but I already have Keeper popping up on my Golem, so I really don't want a Keeper Elise. I would have taken a Cultist Elise. And then out of these options, I'm just going to take Pandora's items. I found myself taking Pandora's items a lot in the set revival, and the main reason for that is just that this is a set where you really, really need to have like super specific items. If you don't have very specific items on your carries, they're just not going to be effective because there's so much crowd control in the set. So I'm going to go ahead and look to make a Quicksilver Sash. I found a Spirit Diana Chosen. So in a normal game, you would just be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm playing Spirit Assassins, and then you just look to play from there. I actually already had 6 Dianas, so it would have been super easy to just go for Spirit Assassin straight from here. But no, I've already played that build. I don't need to do that build again. It's kind of a boring build. It's been played out at this point. I'm going for this cultist build. But anyway, so what do we have? We have the Diana Chosen. That gives me Spirit with just 1 unit, so I don't have to play any Spirit units, and I can get Spirit in, which is nice. Although I wonder how that, I wonder how that actually functions when you only have 1 Spirit unit. I guess you don't get that much of a benefit because Spirit, the whole thing is when each Spirit unit casts, you get additional attack speed. So if there's only 1 Spirit unit casting, I guess you only get it once. You only get the Spirit benefit once and not twice. So I guess it's not quite as good as it could be otherwise. But it still does give me an 18% team-wide attack speed boost when Diana casts. And Diana's just a strong enough unit that I think she can get me through all of Stage 2. And hopefully through a good portion of Stage 3, especially if I'm hitting, which it looks like I am hitting here. I'm going to go ahead and find the Sivir here, which is super duper nice. So I'm definitely hitting some cultist units here. I have the 2-star Elise. Elise is the frontline unit you play early on this board. I was able to find the early Pike, which is great because he gives me another rank of cultist, and he also gives me assassin trait as well with the Diana. And then I find the early Sivir, and I'm going to be looking to build through Sivir in this game. Sivir has been nerfed from the video I posted, which was pre-patch, which was basically, here's how you break the game playing 3-star Sivir. They basically made it so the old 3-star Sivir, or the old, let me rephrase that. The current 3-star Sivir is equal to the old 2-star Sivir. I got my tongue tied trying to say that, but basically what used to be the 2-star Sivir is now the 3-star Sivir. That's how broken she was. They took what was the 2-star and made it the 3-star. But she's still a good unit, even after that nerf, because of just how extremely overtuned Sivir is overall. Anyway, so I was able to hit those units, and I kind of got sidetracked from my main point, which is Cultist is one of the big vertical traits in set 4, and it's the trait that summons a unit, summons a Galio on the board. Let me get the official trait description here, because I do have the cheat sheet here on my phone. Here's the formal description. Once your team loses 50% of their health, Galio is summoned, slamming into the largest cluster of enemies and stunning them. Galio's strength increases based on the total star level of all active cultists. So we've seen this in almost every TFT set. Like there's some trait where as you play more of the units in the trait, you get a summon and the summoning gets stronger. But this was one of the first times they ever did that, actually. I think the first is when they had Mech Garen, although that was a little bit different in set 3. But like this was more of what we've come to expect in each set, is like there's one trait that summons an additional unit. And this was kind of like their first spin on doing this in like a big form. So Cultist has 3 levels normally. Cultist 3, 6, and 9. And then, of course, we're going to be going for Cultist 11 in this game, but Cultist 11 requires playing every Cultist unit, having a Cultist chosen, and having double Cultist emblems, because there's only 8 Cultist units, so 2 emblems gets you to 10, and then a Cultist chosen gets you to 11. So that's a pretty tall order, and you also have to find every single Cultist unit, which includes Galio. Now, I get a little bit lucky here. There's 3 of us that are on 100 HP and haven't lost yet, but for whatever reason, I win the tiebreak. And that means I get to pick 3rd instead of 4th. I guess somebody has to, and this time I was the winner. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Aurelia because she sells for 3 gold. And she also gives me a vest, and I'm going to use that to make Edge of Night. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the pike. And then I believe I moved that item over to the Diana. Yeah, Diana is like my carry right now. So she's holding items that are going to go on Sivir later on. And I'll just put TF on the board. I'm on a win streak, so I'm going to continue leveling. Even though TF does not make any traits, he does make the Galio stronger. I probably should put that Nidalee on the board just to get Sharpshooter trait in play for Sivir. That's probably a little bit better. But playing an additional rank of Cultist does make the Galio a little bit stronger. So we're going to look to go from there. Now, one thing that's really interesting about Cultist is there is no internal trait synergy for this trait at all. Like I said, it's a big scaling vertical trait, but there are no trait synergies. And what I mean by that is 2 units that share the same trait. So like most of the other big verticals here in set 4 have at least one shared trait among them. So, like, if you look at, I don't know, Warlord, there's a Keeper synergy in that. Jarvan and Azir are both Warlord plus Keeper. If you look at a trait like Dragon Soul has an internal Mage synergy. You have Brand, who's Dragon Soul plus Mage. You have Aurelian Soul, who's Dragon Soul plus Mage. Mages have multiple ones. Mage has an Elderwood has multiple ones. There's Vhagar and Lulu are both Elderwood plus Mage, and then there's Nunu and Maokai are both Elderwood plus Bruiser. So like most of these other traits that are big vertical scaling traits have some kind of internal trait synergy. But Cultist does not have that. There are 8 Cultist units, and none of them share traits aside from Cultist. Every single one has a different trait. So it's a very awkward thing to play vertically because like I said, it doesn't really lean in any one direction, and your units don't synergize together well at all aside from having the Cultist trait. This was kind of a trait that was famous in the original set 7 for having a strong early and mid game and then falling off a cliff in late game, because even though the Galio is pretty strong, unless you hit the Cultist 9, like the Cultist 6, it gets very weak in the late game. And again, you don't have any internal synergies for your units, so you're basically just playing Cultist if you can't get up to the Cultist 9. So it was something that like you would often be able to get like a 3rd or 4th, like you would win streak through the early game, and then you get like then you'd start to bleed out in the late game, and you get like a 3rd or a 4th place, and like that's what the trait was known for being. I think there were a couple patches where it was overtuned, but by and large, it was like a top 4 comp, but not a win the lobby comp. And it's definitely that here in the set revival as well, although that's more to do with the fact that these various spirit builds are so overtuned that they just crowd out everything else that people can play. And Cultist doesn't. Cultist is like okay, it's not like Mages, which is just completely unplayable. Uh, it's like okay, but it just gets overshadowed by some of the other ones. And I'm going to go ahead and make this Rage Blade here. So now I have all my Sivir items. Oh, but here I get a huge break of luck. I find an early Aatrox. Aatrox is the 4-cost cultist, and he has Vanguard trait. So this is super nice. I'm going to go ahead and level to level 6. He actually gets Vanguard trait in from the dummy. And then I can go ahead and put this TF on the board, and I actually have a very, very early 6 cultist, which is going to get me the upgraded version of Galio. So I'm quite happy to do that. I'm going to continue to put the Quicksilver Sash and the Edge of Night on Diana because she's still really my carry, but I will move the Rage Blade over to the Sivir, and Sivir is intended to be my main carry. And by the way, I found a Vlad here as well, although I don't really want to put him on the board just to get up to... I guess I can't even get to 7 cultists yet. I can only play 6 units. Oh no, that's not true. I could take the Diana Chosen off, but that would just be really dumb to do that. So I don't want to do that. Anyway, yes, I've been looking to build my items with the intention of building towards Sivir and Callista as my main carries. They are both the 3-cost duelists. There's 2 3-cost duelists, and they are intended to be the main carries. All right, now our next one is Prismatic. And Spirit Crown might be tempting, but this is actually a build that doesn't play into Spirit, and I don't care about Keeper Crown either. Keeper's a really, really bad trait here in the set Revival. It's just absolutely terrible. So I'm looking at the different options. Sponging's not terrible. I did think about the Infinity Forces as well, but ultimately I just decided to take Blazing Soul. Your highest attack speed champs gain ability power and attack speed. So that's going to go on Sivir and Callista. And that's actually pretty good on both of them. So I'm reasonably pleased with that. It'll go to one of them, then it'll pass over to the other one, and then it'll just go to other units. But I really just want it on Sivir and Callista. They both make good use of the AD and the AP, so that's pretty solid there. But like I said, it was a really big deal for me to hit the early Aatrox, and he's going to anchor my front line for the time being and let me get the Cultist 6, which is really quite good. Aatrox is one of the best tanks in the set Revival. His ability does not make him tankier, so he's not like a pure tank in the way that some of the other units are, but he has this ability that shoots out these 2 chains and yanks 2 units towards him. It's really disruptive, and it's one of the reasons why Quicksilver Sash is so important as an item in this set, because it's very hard to stop your carries from getting yoinked by Aatrox. And hey, I've got him in on 3-1 in a Cultist board, so that's a pretty nice high roll there, and I am feeling pretty good about having that. Okay, other Cultist units here. As I said, there's 8 Cultist units. Here is the cost distribution of the 8 units. So you have 2 1-costs, Elise and Twisted Fate. They're both on the board. 2 2-costs, Pike and Vladimir. I have them both, but I'm not playing Vlad yet. 2 3-costs, Sivir and Callista. I am intending the 2 of them to be my main carries. And then 1 4-cost Aatrox and 1 5-cost Zilean. So 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4, and 5. You can kind of see from the cost distribution of the units that make up the trait that it's not really something that's going to be great in the late game, because if you're trying to play deep into Cultist, you got to play multiple 1-costs and multiple 2-costs and multiple 3-costs. Like, these are units that are just not great late game. So it's pretty obvious why Cultist typically falls off late game, because there's only 1 4-cost who's Aatrox, who's a tank, and then Zilean, the 5-cost, who's a utility unit. And in fact, most of the Cultist units are utility units or tanks. Elise is a tank. Pike is a utility unit. He's a stun bot. Vlad is basically a tank. I mean, he does some damage. Twisted Fate is a carry, but he's a 1-cost mage, so that means he's basically useless. Maybe if you 3-star him in a 7 mage board, but he's pretty... I mean, he's good for the early game, but he falls off super hard. So the only units that have any carry potential are Sivir and Callista, and that's why I'm going to be trying to play through them in this game. If you're going to be playing pure vertical cultists, they just have to be your main damage sources. Now, getting a cultist emblem really, really helps this board enormously, because it just unlocks the ability to play additional traits that are not cultist units. So for example, if you're trying to play through a Sivir, as I'm doing here, it will allow you to put a cultist emblem, or if you get a cultist emblem, then you can look to slot in somebody like Samira, and that just unlocks so much additional offense for your board, being able to play a unit like Samira in the late game, because that will let you put sharpshooter trait in, and then you can cut a unit like Twisted Fate from your board. That's kind of the idea there. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and put this vest on the Aatrox to make him a little bit tankier. And do I look to level here? I'm trying to remember. I have not lost a round yet, which is really nice. Oh, I decided I wanted to hold onto the glove. And the reason why is I want to make another Quicksilver Sash. So I'm holding components for different items here. I actually want to make another Edge of Night and another Quicksilver Sash because I want Edge of Night Quicksilver Sash on the Sivir and Edge of Night Quicksilver Sash on Callista so that they can both get the protection from crowd control and they can both get the aggression drop. Yeah, it's that important. I want it on both of them because they're both auto attack based champions, and if they get interrupted from auto attacking, they don't deal damage. Anyway, Galio has been filling in and doing great work. Like I said, having Cultist 6 in this early really does do a lot of work for your board. And like Galio's been carrying a lot of these fights together with this Diana Chosen, which has just been absolutely fantastic. But I am going to have to move out of the Diana Chosen pretty soon. I'm just trying to get to level 7. And on level 7, I'm going to find a Cultist Chosen. I want it to be either Sivir or Callista. Either one is okay. But I would like it to be a Cultist Chosen. That's because I'm still holding out hope I can get another Cultist. I'm holding out hope I can get a Cultist emblem. I cannot play Cultist 11 without an emblem. But I have 2 good opportunities to get that. One would be from the last augment. We're going to get another augment. And if I'm lucky, maybe I can get +1 to the Cultist trait. Otherwise, this is the the set revival form, and you actually get a fair number of emblems in this form. Because I have Pandora's items, all I need is any spatula or frying pan. If it's I need a spatula to make a Cultist emblem, but even if I get a frying pan, I can have it re-roll into a spatula via Pandora's items, and then I can get the item that I need, which I think is a belt, but don't quote me on that. By the way, it looks like Galio beats the Shyvana over there on that Dragon Soul board. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So we're able to win that round, and we're full win streak all through stage 2 and stage 3. Like I said, Cultist is strong early, and I hit a lot of Cultist stuff. So that's my hope that I'll be able to either get an augment that gives me +1 Cultist, or alternately that I will get a spatula or a frying pan, and then I can re-roll it into a Cultist emblem that way. Either one will do. And again, I'm continuing to stash items on my bench because I don't want them to re-roll via Pandora's items. But now we're going to roll down, and we're looking for a Cultist Chosen. We're also looking for a Callista as well. If I can get a Cultist Chosen and a Callista, I can go up to 9 Cultists. And that should stabilize me for a little while as well, because other boards are going to come online and my board's going to start to fall off if I can't hit that. So we're looking now for Cultist Chosen, and I can make another Rage Blade, so I'm going to do that. That's going to go on Callista. Of course, I have to find Callista first. So now it's time to look for our Chosen, and oh my god, there's an early Zillion. Oh god, there's that a high roll. That's a 1% Zillion when I'm playing a Cultist board. That is absolutely awesome. Zillion is very, very broken here in the set revival. And there's a Cultist Vlad, but Cultist Vlad is not good enough. I need it to be a Cultist Callista or a Cultist Sivir. And look, now I get the Sharpshooter Sivir. I was like, really? Are you kidding me? Sharpshooter Sivir? That's like the most broken thing in the last patch. But no, I'm trying to play through Cultist here. It has to be a Cultist Chosen if this build is going to work. So there, I finally do find Callista, and I believe that was enough to let me play. No, I can't play 9 Cultists because I only have 7 units on the board. Even with the Cultist emblem on the Golem, I have to be level 8 to play the 9 Cultists. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I'm not surprised that I lost this round because I'm transitioning my board, and I don't even have a Chosen in right now. But we are going to get our next augment here, and I'm like, really wish that I'd gotten a Cultist emblem. Well, just to be sure, I'm going to check everything just to make sure that there's not a Cultist emblem hiding behind one of these. I was like, all right, Clockwork Accelerator's fine, I can take that. And there it is. There's the Cultist emblem. I was like, yes, okay, I can do this now. I can play Cultist 11. I have everything I need. I just have to find a Cultist Chosen, and I have to be level 9 because I have every single unit already. I have all the Cultist units, and I have double Cultist emblems, but I need a Cultist Chosen. And I have good odds to find it here, so I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna slow roll here. Remember, I have Pandora's items, so it's also very, very important I put this on a unit so it doesn't re-roll into a non-Cultist emblem. And apparently the spatula, the recipe is spatula plus vest, so I can actually take out one of these units. Like I could take I don't know, like the Vlad off the board and play something different. So I was trying to see what I could find that would be good to play, and I was thinking I'd like to get either a Sharpshooter or I'd like to get a or alternately a duelist one, so I can give Callista some additional damage. Sharpshooter would be better because I'm playing through the Sivir right now. I'm not playing through the Callista. It's just a 1-star unit. And by the way, that person has a lot of units on their Warlord board. They already have, what, I think they have, I don't know if they have Warlord 9 yet, but their board was certainly stronger than me. So anyway, I'm just rolling here, still trying to find this. I'm also holding some items on the bench over there. And I can actually make a Quicksilver Sash, so I'll go ahead and do that and put that on Callista. So there we go. Now I just need to make Edge of Night on her. All right, that's Slayer Pike. That's not going to be sufficient. It's like, come on, game. Give me a Cultist Callista. All right, there we go. I was going to say Cultist Callista or Cultist Sivir. Cultist Sivir would have been better because I'm already on 4 Sivers. That would have taken me to 7 Sivers. But now I can play another unit on the board, but I wasn't exactly sure what unit to put on the board. All right, so now I'm also on 4 Sivers, 4 Callistas. Now, normally, if I were trying to play Cultist, what I would want to do is I would want to slow roll here on level 7, looking for 3-star Sivir and 3-star Callista. That would be what I'd want to do, 3-star Sivir, 3-star Callista. But because I have the opportunity to play Cultist 11, we actually don't want to do that. We want to get to level 9, and then we're going to play we're going to play 9 Cultist units, plus the Cultist Chosen, plus the training dummy with the Cultist emblem on it, and then that gets us to Cultist 11, because I said I've already found every single Cultist unit I need. Now I need to not die before I get to level 9, so no more rerolling for me. I have to get to level 9 without dying. But the good news is my early game was so good that I've been able to preserve all this health. Like, even after I lost 2 rounds here on stage 4, I still have 79 HP, which is really, really nice. And I'm going to be pretty content with that. So for right now, that Tahm Kench can just sit on the bench with the Cultist emblem. We're going to stuff something on the board. Again, probably a Sharpshooter unit so I can start getting the bounces from Sivir. And Yuumi, I don't think is going to go on this board. I mean, Yuumi would make Mystic Trait, but I don't think that that's necessarily what I need. And now I can look to try to put a last item on Callista. So in terms of what else goes on Callista, it's kind of an interesting call here. Again, I wanted a Rage Blade on her because Callista's so attack speed focused. And I don't have Duelist trait in, and I don't have a Spirit trait in. So I need something to give her attack speed. So she has to have the Rage Blade. Then I want the Quicksilver Sash, so that she can't be CC'd. And then for her last item, I actually wanted to get her some kind of healing. So I decided I would try to experiment with putting Hand of Justice on her, which I think would be a pretty good item on her. Now, she's a monolith champion, so the mana on the tier doesn't do anything, but I still think that would be a pretty good item on her. All right, now my whole team has died except for the 3-star Galio. So this is Cultist 9 Galio. Can he kill everything here? Well, he's pretty strong. Can he kill this Garen and this Katarina? Apparently the answer is yes. Apparently he can kill them all. So good luck, Galio. And I'm going to be leaning heavily on this Galio as I try to make my way to level 9. And anyway, there's the tier. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's give this a try. We'll go ahead and try this. And I'm going to grab the Teemo because I can look to play the Teemo on level up to level 8. So I can move that Cultist emblem over to Teemo. So yeah, anyway, I'm pretty happy with my items. Again, you would think I would be because I have Pandora's items. I can kind of pick and choose what items I want. But for Sivir, again, I needed the Quicksilver Sash and the Edge of Night. I wanted the Rage Blade on her again because I don't have a Spirit trait in to give her a big attack speed bonus from that. So she needed more attack speed than she was getting in the Spirit Sharpshooters game I did with Sivir, where I think I put Gnasher's Tooth as her 3rd item. And then for Callista, I just wanted her to have some healing. I wanted to see how this would function, and I think it actually works out reasonably well in this game. She can't be CC'd, so she's not getting interrupted on her casts. I just need to make sure she doesn't get jumped on by assassins, and it looks like that's not... Looks like I don't have quite enough in this game. This Warlord board's pretty strong, but yeah, I don't have quite enough to beat that. They are level 8 with Tactician's Crowns. They actually have 9 units, or what is it? Yeah, they have 9 units on the board to my 7 right now. So that's a bit of an advantage. But all right, on we go. I do lose that round, but I'm still on 64 HP. Still feeling pretty good here. I'm on 5 Sivers, 5 Callistas. Again, if I stayed on level 7, I could probably 3-star both of them, but that's just not our goal in this game. We're going to be playing through the Cultist summon, not through our actual units. I mean, I'm going to try to 3-star them. It's just I'm not going to be re-rolling here on level 7 for it. If you did not have this many emblems, then yes, that would be the play. Get the Cultist 9, but then you have to 3-star the Callista and you have to 3-star the Sivir, or else you're not winning the lobby because you don't have enough offense otherwise. Alrighty, so on we go. We're going to go, or I'm going to go ahead and do the... what is it? Gargoyle Stoneplate. Going to level to 8 and put in Teemo. That makes Sharpshooter trait. And now I get to do one leftover item. So I was like, Zillion, how about you have a tier? And I'm still hoping I can maybe get one more item on the Aatrox off a carousel or something. Because my front line's not amazing. But remember, I do have Galio that crashes in every single fight. And he has like, I think he has like 6,000 or 7,000 health when he comes crashing in. So I don't really need to emphasize frontline that heavily. The main thing is just that Aatrox gets his cast off in the fight. So, okay, watch. We're going to see Aatrox get his cast off and just ruin the day of this Aurelion Soul, because this person has foolishly put A Soul in the corner of this board. So watch. Whoop! In comes A Soul. Boom! Gets knocked up by Galio. Does he get to do anything? Nope, not really. That's why it sucks playing mages in this set. And it looks like Callista managed to survive. So Sivir died, but Callista survived. And she did another 7,000 damage. So, like, that's kind of what I'm going for here is between all of my Quicksilver Sashes and Edge of Knights and Hand of Justices, I'm hoping that one of my 2 carries will survive, and they can just DPS in the background while Galio punches people. Oh, look at this. That's a high roll shop. Double Aatroxes. Let's go. So I have had good luck in finding my Cultist units in this game. The only thing that could have been better is if that first Sivir chosen had rolled as Cultist instead of Sharpshooter. But in a normal game, you actually would want the Sharpshooter Sivir. So maybe the game thought that I wanted that. Anyway, now that we're getting closer to the late game, I'm trying to investigate what other people are playing. And as usual, there's a bunch of assassins in the lobby. So I'm going to try to box up my board in the corner. This is what you always have to do when you're up against assassin players. And hopefully this will give me some protection against these units. By the way, this person has 6 Tryndamere, so I guess they're trying to go for 3-star Tryndamere. But the bad news for them is if they lose this round, they're out of the game because they're on like 1 HP. And by the way, my whole team's going to die, but the Chrono Shift revived. The Chrono Shift revived. Callista still alive. And can Galio win this 1v1 against Tryndamere? Oh, wow, that's a big punch. Boom. Justice Punch. Haha. So that board was pretty strong. I'm glad to get them out of the lobby before they can go for Tryndamere 3-star. So yeah, we'll take it. Again, you see, even with me having all these defensive items on my carries, I still can't keep them alive in these fights. I have like I said, I have Quicksilver Sash, Edge of Night, I have the Zillion Revive. They still die so fast. It's just almost impossible to keep your carries alive in this set format. All right, so this round, it doesn't look like I'm up against Assassin, so I'll reposition here. Again, you don't really want to clump up. It's the only defense against Assassin, so a lot of the time you have to do so. I think I was looking at these boards, and okay, there's like multiple people with 3-star Katarina, so I'm just going to do my best to dodge Katarinas. For some reason, Warlord was very popular in this lobby. I'm not quite sure why, but this is great for me. I repositioned at the last second. Katarina is off, not really in a dangerous spot. She's not really going to hit anything except Teemo with her Death Lotus, and Teemo even gets the revive. And then yoink, Aatrox grabs the 3-star cat and pulls her into the middle of my team. Sivir is still alive. Sivir's still alive. Callista's still alive. Galio's punching people. Boom. That is what we want a fight to look like. Beautifully, beautifully done. My whole team stays alive. And yeah, even though we don't have any 3-star units here, we're still chugging along. Now there is a Cultist emblem here. I will happily take this Cultist emblem. That would allow me to cut a unit like Twisted Fate from my board. But I think one of these other people was like, "Oh my God, this guy's on 10 Cultist. I have to deny the Cultist emblem." But what they didn't realize is I don't need the Cultist emblem. I can still play 11 Cultist even without that. I'd just be able to get rid of the stupid Twisted Fate or Vladimir, who are like useless units on my board. So instead, I'm just going to play Cultist Samira, and I'm quite happy with that. And I don't even mind the Crown Guard. It's a decent item on Aatrox. It's not like his best item, but it's a pretty solid item on him. Now, I'm going to go ahead and like I decided I'm just not going to screw around here. I'm just going to go straight to the level 9 as soon as I can, because some of these boards might be trying to go for 3-star 4 costs. I want to start knocking people out of the lobby right away. So here we go, 11 Cultist. We have all 8 Cultist units, double Cultist emblems, and we have a Cultist chosen, Cultist 11. So we're going to get the Super Cultist Summon, which is officially called the Endbringer. But if you've played this, I think you know what this is. Yeah, it's the Scuttle Crab. It's literally the Scuttle Crab from a Crab Rave. Anyone watching this who plays TFT is probably familiar with this. It's when you get Crab Rave as an encounter. You get the Super Crab at the end of Stage 5. And the crab will just jump all over your team. And it's very difficult to kill. It's quite common to lose the minion round against the Crab Rave. But now you get it on your team. Yeah, that's what Cultist 11 does, is it summons the Crab Rave Crab. So now I've got that unit on my board too. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that sounds fun. Now, because I have this on the board, I'm going to look to just econ back up to 50 gold. And then when I'm at hit 50 gold, I can decide, do I want to roll for like Samira 2-star, Zillion 2-star, or do I want to go to level 10 if I have enough gold to do that? By the way, once again, Assassin's board, what are we going to do? We're going to box up in the corner here. And if I can get more AD items, I would happily put them on Samira. Samira is going to be another nice carry. But I think that the crab is going to do most of my damage going forward. The crab is really strong. I'm not exactly sure how much health it has, but it has a lot. And all right, here it comes. Here comes the scuttle crab, just dancing away on everybody. And yeah, this is a pretty strong warlord board, but I mean, the crab does 6,000 damage. Oddly, it shows up. It has 20,000 HP. Okay, Rift Scuttler has 20,000 HP. I don't really know how much damage it does, but the answer seems to be a lot because we killed that whole team pretty quickly. So again, the goal is knock people out of the lobby. Don't let people try to get 3-star 4 cost because I think it's going to take something like a 3-star 4 cost to beat me. And so just hoping that people will not get enough time to hit those units if that's what they're playing for on their boards. Now, the Scuttle Crab did have a weakness in the initial version of the set revival. Yeah, it could just get kicked off the board by Lee Sin. And that's one reason why Cultist 11 was kind of weak. I mean, it wasn't weak, it was still good, but it had this gaping vulnerability whereby Lee Sin could just kick it off the board. They've actually made it immune to Lee Sin's kick in this patch, which I think is fair given how difficult it is to get the crab on the board. The fact that it could just instantly be kicked off the board by Lee Sin is actually kind of hilarious. I actually did get a Tryndamere to drop from that round, and I think that that's a bit of a mistake for me to sell that. By the way, I get an Edge of Night, so we'll stuff that on Samira. We love ourselves some Edge of Nights, don't we? And the reason why it was probably bad to sell the Tryndamere is he's actually the unit that should go on the board at level 10. The reason for that is he would put 2 key traits in play. He would put a Slayer trait in play for Samira, and he would also put Duelist trait in play for the Callista. So if I have one more unit to play, I almost certainly should be playing the Tryndamere, but I would have to get to level 10 for that. So we'll see if that ever happens. I don't know if the game's going to last long enough for that to happen, but we'll certainly do our best and try to see what can happen here. This looks like an Enlightened board over there, which again would be perfectly fine under normal circumstances, but you know, this crab is just dancing around on everybody. And it looks like we're going to win pretty easily. It did 9,200 damage in that fight. Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Do I still get the Galio as well? I was looking at that damage chart, and it looked like I have Galio too. Do I have both Galio and the Scuttle Crab? This is one of those things that's hard to see when you're playing. But I actually think that I just got both of them in that fight. Wow, I did not know that. I'm recording this video. I didn't even know that. Okay, I'll have to watch and see in this next fight. By the way, there's 2 Warlord comps left. A Warlord 8 and a Warlord 9. That's very bizarre. Warlord is not very strong in the set revival at all. So quite bizarre to see that. By the way, this player also has 6 Tryndameres. So again, I want to get them out of the lobby quickly. Just like that other player had 6 Tryndameres earlier. So yeah, I want to get these players out of the lobby. I do not want to deal with a 3-star Tryndamere. That's something that could legitimately maybe beat my board if someone has like a 9 Warlord 3-star Tryndamere. And it looks like this person has 7 Aatroxes? Yeah, they have 7 Aatroxes as well. Good thing I have those Quicksilver Sashes to prevent my team from getting yoinked. But yeah, it looks like I have Galio and the Rift Scuttler on the board at the same time. That's hilarious. I get to summon both of them. Okay. I didn't even know that that was the case, but yeah, it looks like I get to summon both of them. All right, so I'm finally back to 50 gold. So at this point, I was like, do I want to roll here? I was like, okay, I guess I might as well slow roll. Maybe I just slow roll over 50 gold here and see if I can hit, because I do have 6 Sivers, 6 Callistas, and I would like to 2-star some more of my board. So I'm just going to keep slow rolling here. We can drop the Lee. All right, there's another Lee. Okay, I didn't find anything, but then someone just quits the lobby, so I was like, okay. Well, I guess we'll just take our first place. I mean, I don't think any of those boards were going to beat me. I guess that they were looking for, I think that person was trying to hit Azir for Warlord 9 and they couldn't find it. I don't think they would have beaten me anyway because my board was pretty strong. But yeah, there you go. Now, this was a little bit of a cheesy game because it was one of those stupid games with the totem pole at the start of the game. And I got a Cultist from that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to play Cultist. And like, I had a really good set of emblems on my training dummy. But whatever. I mean, everybody else has the chance to have this randomness happen too. I wanted to play Cultist 11 at least once, and I'm glad I got to do it. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, take care, folks. I'll see you again soon.